Hello and welcome to the City Structures channel. My name is Gabriel, and in this lesson series we shall cover the design of a typical RC building using the robot structural analysis software. We shall be adapting a simple workflow from preliminary tasks to modeling, analysis, and then finally to design. Robot structural analysis software is a commonly used design software from Autodesk. It is a finite element software that can perform analysis from simple two-node bar elements to shells and to volumetric finite elements. It is also fully integrated with Autodesk Revit Structure, which is a BIM software, allowing for interaction between the structural model and other components of a building. This is just a brief description of this software, but you can go and check it out in its various features in the Autodesk website. We shall begin by first going through the user interface, as this is the first thing you need to understand before using the software. So let's get to it. The first thing you encounter after opening the software is the projects page. Here we can either create a new project or open up present projects. For new projects, you can pick from several structural templates. You can just click on the new icon to view all of them. The first 13 templates are for modeling structures, whether in 2D or 3D. The major difference between them is the number of planes you can work on and also the nodal degrees of freedom. The last 4 templates are reserved for special kinds of design, as you'll see if you hover around them. For our case, we shall be adapting the building model design, as it has tools that help us to define storage structures. To learn more about the other templates, you can check out the link in the description. So I'll be using this file to take us through the different components of the user interface. Beginning with the top here, we have the text menus. Now this gives access to all the commands in the software through a traditional text-based format. For example, we have the file, the edit, the view, which are common in a lot of the softwares. Next up, we have the standard toolbar. Now this gives a list of commonly used commands. For example, we have the delete, redo, undo, edit, calculate, and etc. Then we move to the layout manager over here. Now this provides different layouts of the user interface tailored for specific tasks. For example, we have modeling, viewing results, performing different designs, and finally opening some additional tools within the software. In our case, we are in the structural modeling and specifically the geometry layout. Next up, we have the selection bar, which is at the side here. This allows us to make customized selections of components of the model. For example, we may need to select elements on different elevations, different section parameters, etc. On the side here, we have the story definition bar. Now this allows us to edit story information, and this option is only available in the building design template that we have chosen. It is quite useful when it comes to selecting elements within the model. Next up, we have the object inspector. This breaks down the objects within the model. For example, all the nodes, the beams, the columns, and the panels. It can break down based on stories or just overall for the whole model. As you can see here, we have stories, then we have the overall for the objects in the model. Next up, we have the object properties panel. Now this displays properties of an object or object selected in the model. For example, if I were to just select a column or a beam, immediately it will populate the properties of the selected beam, as you can see. So moving on to the project view window, this composes of the project view tabs, the view cube, the project axis. The project view tabs include the view tab, the main one, which displays the model in 3D, then the plan tab, which allows us to see the project from a planned view. Going back to the view tab, now these two tabs are only available in the building design template, so that's why it's important to be using this one during building design. Then just navigating through the model space. In order to pan the model, just press and hold the middlemost button and then move the mouse. In order to zoom in or zoom out, scroll the middlemost wheel, front or back, or inwards or outwards. In order to orbit or rotate the model, you can either press and hold shift and also press the middlemost button and then move the mouse. Another way to navigate is using the view cube. You can just press and left click and hold one of its corners, then just move the mouse, as you can see. Then lastly, you can use these options down here to navigate through the model. For example, if you wish to view from the YZ plane, then you can use this one to specify the structural axis you wish to view, as you can see. Next up, we move on to the modeling bar on the right corner here. And this one, from its name, it contains commands or tools that help us to model different objects within the model space, beginning with the axis definition. This one just allows us to generate reference grids or column grids. Next up, we have the element modeling tools. Now these ones are for adding perhaps the elements, that is the beams, the columns, the floor panels, the walls, the openings, the core walls into the model. So the tools range from this one here, the beams, all the way to the core walls. Then we have the member sections and the thickness module. That is this one and this one. The member sections allows us to define or to generate sections for beams and columns. And then the thickness, this one allows us to generate sections for the slabs and the floors, and also perhaps mat foundations. Then we move over to the materials assigning module. Now this one allows us to just assign different material properties to the elements we've created. For example, if I select it, then I go to the concrete elements. Perhaps if I want to change the properties of this is a section, it's a beam of 30 by 50. I want it to be of strength 35-45, just select it and then apply, as you can see. If I wanted to select all of them and assign the same properties, perhaps I want them to be concrete class 25, apply, as you can see. Next up, move to the support definition, click on it. Now this one allows us to just first of all generate our own support type, just customize our own, and then also to assign them to the different objects within the model. In this case, if you want to assign them on a node, you can do that. You can select, you can click on this to assign them on a linear plane, you can do that, or rather a linear edge. Then to assign them on a plane, that is a surface, you can do the same. So move on to the load definitions, the load types module. This one allows us to just define loads first of all. Then, as you can see, there's another one at the bottom. After now defining those loads, we want to specify the values of those loads. So it goes to the load definition. So we define, for example, we have a live load. The first thing, the type is a live load, and then we define the value. The next step, we put it to be part of a code combination. Then we have the objects module. Now this one allows us to just create objects which can help us to customize the model. For example, when you want to create openings or special kinds of floor slabs, for example. The next step, we have the structure definition. Now this one contains the rest of the tools, or rather all the tools that can be used for modeling. If you click on it, you can see the vast selection of tools we have here. Now at your own time you can view them. It's not something we're going to be looking at very much. Then we have the tables here. Now the tables allow us to view the different data that is in our project. That is from properties of elements, analysis results, and also the design results. But depends, there are so many things you can view using the table. So clicking on it will show you just the different data, as you can see. Click on it. For example, the grayed out or the faded values here are the ones which you cannot find in this project. But the ones which are now clearly defined, these ones are the ones which we can find in this project. For example, if I wanted to view the, what can we view? I haven't made any calculations yet. Oops, let me select the supports. I click OK. It shows me all the supports, the bases, the fixed supports, and the pin supports. And then their properties, as you can see. So enough with that, move on to the last thing here, that is the provided reinforcement of elements. Now this one provides just a different layout to allow us to design the individual elements of the model. We shall be using this frequently when we begin the design phase, so I won't go into it right now. Then we move on to the status bar, that is at the bottom here. Now this one just gives us information, general information on perhaps what is going on in the project. For example, if I were to just hover around, you can see that it's showing me the different properties of the elements in which I'm hovering around on. As you can see, this highlighted part here. Then you also have the status for the calculation. So in this case, we have no results. We haven't made any calculations. Then you also have the units or the current units of the project. And this is also a shortcut to allow us to change the units. We shall look at that when we are now defining the environment or setting up the environment for the project in the next video. Then we have the quick access display option, the side here. And this one just allows us to toggle on and off the different graphics within the project view window. For example, we have the node numbers, as you can see. We also have the member nodes. If you click on it, it shows you just the different namings or the numbering of the elements. So it ranges from what you want. You can also view load value descriptions. In the case when we add loads or something, it will just show us how they've been defined, or rather the direction and their distribution. So that's it for the just brief understanding or review of the user interface. In the next video, I'm going to be looking at setting up the environment. If you found this video useful, you can just like and subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video.